Hello everyone on Facebook, on Periscope, and on Facebook Live. Let me get my second Facebook Live going. How's everyone doing today? I always seem to have a problem with this one on Facebook. So sometimes I have to turn it off and put it back on there so it can go straight. How's everyone doing today? Hey, young Pappy, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Let me turn off my iPad and turn it back on. I love to do three streams at one time. Sometimes it just comes right on, and sometimes we have an issue with it. So give me just a moment to get that up and going. But while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead on and talk about what we're going to be talking about today. And once I get I'll recap once I get my Facebook Live back on my business page. But today we're going to talk about the importance of prospecting. How does prospecting help with your customer service skills? How does prospecting help with your customer experience skills? How does it help with your sales? We're all in business to make money, right? One way, hey, Dryden, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Edeline, thank you so much for joining. But how does that help with your sales? It goes hand in hand. Prospecting, the follow-up, and the sales all go hand in hand. And I think some people forget that when they're in business. But it's so important. And I'm going to give you a personal how it helped me personally in my business. So I'm now going on Facebook Live. If you see me looking the other way, I'm going on Facebook Live on my business page to start the Facebook Live over there. We had some issues with it. I love to do my all of my broadcasting at one time. You know, it's so much better to do it that way. So I can do my Periscope, I can do my personal page as well as my business page instead of trying to do 3 broadcasts at different times. It takes so much time out of your day. So if you can get it all done at one time, that's the best way to do it. So let's see if it's going to get started here. It's connecting, and that way I can get started and we can go with it. Come on, don't give me any problems today. And if not, I'll just go ahead on and, if it doesn't do as it should do, I'll just go ahead on and I'll post it on my page, on my business page. So anyways, so let's get started. It hadn't popped on yet, and I don't know why it's doing that. Hi, Nadia. Thank you so much for joining. Excuse me, on Facebook Live. So let me start off by saying who I am. My name is Kayl May. I am the customer service and leadership coach. I am a motivational speaker. I'm a mentor. I'm a radio talk show host, as well as an author. The name of my business is Bottom Line Customer Experience Management, LLC. You can go to my website and learn some more information about all the little titles that I have and all the things that I'm doing through Kayl May, the customer service coach.info. You can always send me an email if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing. If you need to contact me for any reason, at bottomlinesecret@yahoo.com. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of prospecting. How does that help with your customer service? How does it help with your customer experience? And how does it help you make money? I love that song that says, all we do is win, win, win. Keep our hands in the air and we stay there. But how do we win? How do we keep our hands in the air? How do we get excited about winning? You know, that's the money part of it and making sure that we take care of our customers. But how do we stay there? That's the most important part. That's when you get those nice little songs that give you all that energy in the morning, that get you to moving. But you have to kind of dissect it and make it a part of your life. And how are you going to do those things that it say, right? So one of the things is what prospecting does is it keeps your business alive. And remember, everyone who's on my Facebook Live, hey Cheryl, and anyone that's on Periscope, if you have any questions for me, you can always put those in the comments as well. If you like something I say, you can always give comments, and you can always share information out if I'm saying something that resonates with you or you think someone else may need this information. So I appreciate you for doing that up front. But how, it keeps your business alive. That's what prospecting does. In the entrepreneurship part of it, we call it follow up. Follow up and prospecting is really the same thing. But you have to make sure that you're doing that throughout the year, right? Every time you go to an event, you have to follow up with someone. You can't just go there and get their business card and expect for them to give you business and you're not following up with that person. You have to follow up with people afterwards. You have to prospect with your customers. That is so important after the sale, because you're not trying, and I need everyone to remember this, you're not trying to get one sale out of that person. You're trying to get them to continually shop with you, to continually refer you to their family and friends and to their co-workers. That's what's important, right? It's not that one sale, it's the many sales that you can get out of them. So that's number one. It helps keeps your business alive. Number two is I'm going to give you how I utilize prospecting. When I first moved to Georgia, I didn't know anyone here. I had only 2 family members here. So I had to get out and really prospect. I couldn't, I was selling fine jewelry at the time, and I couldn't really wait for customers to come in. I had to get out there and let them know who I was, what I was doing, and where I was, and how they can contact me. So what me and my family would do is, my son and my 2 sons and my husband, what we would do is we would make flyers. And when they would get out of school and off work, they would go and take those flyers to different businesses that I had put on. And, you know, they would walk a whole street. They did. When we first moved here, we lived in an apartment. They would do our whole apartment complex. And then maybe the next day, they would do another apartment complex. And then I would put a list of businesses. On my off day, we would go to those businesses and we would take those flyers and things there. That's how I prospected. That's how I started growing my business, right? Then they would tell their friends about it. So I would do this. I mean, I did this for about a year or so to gain my customers. I was making so much money at that time when I started doing that, because you cannot wait for customers to come in. And this wasn't about the internet phase of life, and this was 16 years ago. So you had to think outside the box. What can I do? Because I was not making enough money what I needed to do. You know, Georgia is different. You know, the cost of living is a little bit more expensive here. So I had to find a way to make it happen, and prospecting was my way. Not calling the customers up front, because I didn't have any customers to call. I didn't have anyone to call. So I needed to find a way that I can get my customers to start coming in, new customers to start coming in, dealing with different businesses, taking my flyers there and say, can you place these in your break areas? Can you place them on your front desk? Can you pass them out? Can you, here's my email address. Here's the email I have. Is there an email address where I can send it and you can blast it out to all of your employees? These are ways you're thinking out of the box to gain business. I got those customers within the first year, and I maintained those customers for the next 10 years. How I did that was I made sure I was emailing them information every time we had a sale going on, because what I would do is I would keep a binder, and I would have all the anniversaries in it, the children's birthday, their birthday, you know, the retirement time, anything that we would talk about when they would come in. After they leave, I would jot that down. I would jot that down on a piece of paper. Then later on, I would put it in my prospecting book. So I knew during my downtime, I would be prospecting to them. And I did a lot of my work off the clock at home, but it really helped my business because I ended up making more than my district manager would make. More than anyone in Georgia and the Carolinas would make. That's what prospecting did for me. The same prospecting I did when I left that company and I went to a totally different type of business. I was working for a wireless company. When I left, I sent all of those customers that I had for 8 to 10 years, I sent them information saying that I'm no longer going to be there. I appreciate your business. I appreciate you patronizing me over the years. And I'm going to leave you in someone's hand if you decide to continue to come here. This is just someone that I trust to take care of you. Maybe not as I did, but someone that I knew would take care of you. Those same customers, and I told them where I was going and the location where I would be at and the type of business that I was going to. Most of those customers from that business, from a fine jewelry business, became my customers from a wireless business. That prospecting not only helped with the company I was working for, but it followed me to the company that I went to. That's what prospecting can do for you. Because at the wireless company, I needed them. I didn't know they was coming, but I needed them. Once they came to me, I needed them because I didn't know anything about the wireless business. So I needed those customers to remember that I'm going to take care of you and come and patronize with me. I'm sorry, baby. Can I have my charger, please? Quickly. I'm sorry, guys. My laptop is going dead, so my husband's going to plug it up for me. But that's what prospecting did for me, and I got my whole family involved in that. And sometimes that's what we have to do because that's what's important. The other thing that prospecting does is, and I'm looking at my little notes here, is all about preparation. You know, a lot of people, and I listened to Black Belt Marketing today. I listened to their blog talk radio with Miss Anna Scheller. And we were talking about the same thing. It was a coincidence, but she was talking about, she's all about selling. So she was talking about prospecting in regards to selling. And I'm talking about prospecting in regards to customer service, the customer experience, and making the money. So yes, it is about selling. So it all tied in together. And something she was talking about is a lot of people get bogged out and get a little afraid to use those pre-scripts that you need to do. But don't get all bogged down with that. You need to have a pre-script just from the beginning, especially when you're calling someone you don't know. You need to have those pre-scripts from the beginning, but you don't necessarily have to have those afterwards. You don't have to use those. You know, you have just something to say when you first call. Then when you start talking to your customer, then you personalize it. You don't have to go script by script. But I really do not like that when I call a company and they can't even answer the question that I'm asking them because it's so involved in the script. Or I may have just given them that information and they're still asking me because that's part of their script. Yes, you can begin with the script, but then you put that human side to it. Once you begin to talk to that person and they start talking to you and, you know, establishing a relationship with them, you can get personal with them. You can get that human side so they can see, right? So that's important. Always collect your data. Now, one thing I like to do, like I said, when I call different companies and they have this automated system, what I like to do is, hey, Michael Petway, thank you so much for joining. What I like to do is make sure that I write down information as they're telling me. I'm really listening to them, and as they're talking to me, I'm writing information down so I can now go back and ask them questions about what they're telling me. That's important. That's being prepared for your conversation. That's being prepared. That automated part that you're going to be saying, that pre-script that you're going to be saying, or that script that you're going to be talking about, that's the script just to get you in the door. Then you become personal with them because, you know, a lot of people like to vomit on you. They really like to tell you a lot of information, and a lot of times we can't remember that because we're kind of focusing on what they're saying. So we need to jot it down as we're talking to them. You know, write little notes as we're talking to them so you can go back and ask those questions. The same way I do when I'm doing my script. If someone is asking me a question making a comment, I'm writing that down because I may not be able to answer that comment right then, especially on Periscope, and it tends to go away. So I try to jot it down, at least a key word from it, so I can go back and kind of answer that question. So always be prepared for your calls. Don't be caught off guard or you're just doing it because you don't have anything to do. Actually have that tied in to the things that you're going to do that day. And that's what I had to do. I had to make sure, even though I had things to do once I got off work, I had to still make sure, hey, Mary Pippins, thank you so much for joining. I had to make sure that I still, added that in. I was going to take an hour out of my day to go do my prospecting, or I was going, to go hand my flyers out, or I had to take an hour. I was going to take an hour out of my day to send my emails. And what I like to do back then, because they didn't have the internet like this, I like to send little cards to them. I would get the little cards in a pack for $1. You may get 20, 25 in a pack. And I would send them a brief, something in the mail. Yes, you had to pay for a stamp. But I'm telling you, that little, I think stamps may have been 25, 30 cents back then. I can't even remember. And a lot of people say, I wouldn't be spending that extra money. Sometimes you have to put something out to get something. And I can tell you, anytime I sent that little stamp out for 30 cents, or even if it was 40 cents, I sent that little stamp out, I got a lot more in return than commission in that, because I've always worked on commission. So sometimes you have to give a little bit if you have it in order to get a lot. But if you don't have the money to do that, you have email that you can send out, and that's free. Don't charge anything, right? So you can do that. But make sure you follow up and touch bases with your customers throughout the year. And the reason I wanted to make sure I put that is because, especially now, if we're going into the holiday time and you haven't touched bases with any of your customers, you haven't called them throughout the year, sent them a thank you card or follow-up card, or, happy Valentine's card, or, happy 4th of July, or whatever holidays we've had. If you haven't sent them anything throughout the year and now you begin to send them something and they know, they're saying, oh, she just want my money. But if you already sent them a couple of little things throughout the year, little emails or the little thank you cards or happy this card or happy that card throughout the year, they're remembering, first of all, who you are. So you're keeping yourself in their memory bank. First of all, you're keeping yourself in their memory bank. They remember who you are. So when it comes this time of the year and you're sending them something in the mail, oh yes, she does this and that and that. She gives me great customer service. So now, yes, I want to still, patronize her. But you're going to follow up during this time of the year. You're letting them know to remember you before they begin to even think about their shopping list, right? So August and September is real good about that, because I did a video yesterday and I said that people right now are thinking about school. They're not thinking about Christmas and all of that. But now they're getting their kids in school. September is a time when they think about the holidays and holiday shopping and Christmas shopping and all of that. So you want to send it to them in August or right at the beginning of September, because you want them to remember you and to patronize you before they begin to go out into the malls and business, the big business and things like that. But even if you work for those, if you're an employee of those places, you want to send them something as well to remember you specific, especially if you work on commission. Excuse me. So that's important. Number 5 was, don't let the fear make you leave your money on make you leave money on the table. Let that fear fuel your business. A lot of people are so scared to do follow-up calls. They're so scared to do all these things that they need to do, so they leave money on the table. That's what fear does for you, right? It makes you scared to do things. So you don't do those things. You don't step out the box. You don't do things different. Hey, Coach Alicia, you don't do things differently than anyone else did. And that was another thing that I shared on Anna Scheller's Blog Talk Radio today on her Facebook Live as well, was that the people that I worked with in the jewelry business, they didn't believe in doing things outside of taking care of customers when they came in. Every now and then, if they had a pretty good customer, they may call them and tell them a sale is coming on. But I prospected so hard till I made 3 times in commission what they were making. So was my energy worth it? That I was doing an hour or 2 off the clock? Yes. Because I calculated that in to see. And if I'm making so much more than what they're making, yes, I can't sit here and then they're wondering why customers are coming in asking for me. That's why. I mean, I did other things to get the customers that were not my customers, that were coming in the door to get them to be my customers. One of the things about that is, one of the funny things, and then I'll get back on my little tips here. One of the funny things was, I'm a big lady, right? So I love to wear colors. I love color anyhow, but one of the reasons or the tips that I would do it, how about service? That's what we're talking about, Nadia. How does prospecting help with your customer service? How does it help with your customer's experience? How does it help you gain more money? But one of the things I would love to do is, because the people that I work with would say, customers can see you can see customers before they get out of their car. And yes, I could. I was looking for them. That's why I was at work, right? I was looking for customers. The only reason I would come to work is because I'm trying to make money. But the other thing I was doing, yes, I wanted to see them get out of their cars, and I wanted to see which doors they was coming at so I can be standing in that area. So when they get ready to come to my department, I'm ready to help them. But I wanted them to be able to see me as well. So that's where that color came into effect, because I'm already big and I'm wearing the fuchsias and I'm wearing the lime greens and I'm wearing the yellows and I'm wearing the pinstripe suits and things like that. Those things attracted them to me because they can see me before they see anyone else, right? Because they're wearing their grays and their blues and their blacks and, trying to be all professional. It's one thing to be professional. It's another thing to think outside the box in order to attract your customers. And that's what my color was all about. So that's just another thing about selling. So we talked about that. Call your known and unknown customers. Now, when I'm talking about patronizing right now, I'm really talking about the ones I've had for 8 to 10 years. Those are the ones that I already knew, right? But when I first started out, I talked about I didn't have any customers. So we had to go out and prospect to these customers. Sometimes I would get lists of employees. If some business would give me their directory, when I would come there, I would call these customers up, because you have to call customers that you don't know. You have to funnel your prospecting list. You're going to be calling people that you know, but they're not going to be able to shop with you every single time you have a sale. And every time you have a sale, you have a goal to make. They gave us a quota what they wanted us to do every day. The company did. My quota would be double whatever they wanted me to do, because what they're giving you is just to make 100%. 100% wasn't enough for me, because I'm my worst critic, right? I compete with this person that you see right here in this camera. That's who my competition is. So I set my goals up a whole lot further than what the company would set their goals up for. But that's what made me successful. And I competed with myself all the time. That's why now, when I talk, because I'm a leader, so when I talk about things, and I shared what I did with the employees there, I shared what I did, but they didn't want to do it because it was just too much work for them. Well, why are we going to work, right? We got to work in order to make money. If I don't want to work, I should need to change my job. That's how I felt. But those things are important. You have to call your customer, keep in contact with the customers that you know, but you always got to be going somewhere in order to find another customer. If I'm in Walmart and I see someone with a nice piece of jewelry on, I'm going to talk to them. And then I'm going to tell them where I work and how they can find me. And if I can get their information, I'm going to get it and write it on a piece of paper or a card, whatever they have. I'm going to put it in my prospecting book, and I'm going to start calling them. That's why I don't have a problem doing cold calling now for my business, because I've done that for other businesses that I've worked at, but I've been successful in doing so, as well as in my business. So you always have to do that. Don't just call people that you know, because it's easier for you to do that. Call the people that you don't know as well. Get that information and call them and follow up with them and talk to them and let them know what you do and where you are and how they can contact you, and get their permission to contact them if it's only by email. But remember, when it comes to email is very important. It is very, very easy. It is not so personable, though. And when you're in sales and when you're working and when you want someone to patronize you over someone else, you're looking for something personal to do. So that call is more important sometimes, even if they're not answering the phone. That's the other little trick that I like to do. Because sometimes when they answer the phone, our conversation can go a little bit longer than it needs to go, and then it takes time away from the other customers that I'm going to be wanting to call, right? So I would love to call when I think they're at work, or when I think they're busy, when I think they're not going to answer their phone, so I can at least leave a voicemail. Then they check their voicemail when they have time and they're listening to me, versus me calling them and they're answering their phone and they're so busy they're not paying attention to what I'm saying. Or our conversation get too long and then I miss calls, from other customers, because that customer I'm calling may not be the one that's going to come in and bring money, right? So I need to touch as many customers as I need to. So be mindful of that as well. Number 7 is always show excitement. Can't read my writing, or I just can't read because I'm getting old and need glasses. But I always show excitement. People buy not because of the product that you're trying to sell them. They buy because you are excited about that product. You are excited about what's going on. I remember when I got there, I couldn't stand a Bluetooth when I sold fine jewelry. But the reason I couldn't stand a Bluetooth is because I'm trying to sell you something and you're talking to family, friends, and whoever, taking care of business while you're talking to me. That will burn me up. Hey, Dry Buzz, thank you so much for joining. That would burn me up. I would get so irritated, and my associates would look at me every time they saw one of my customers with a Bluetooth in their ear, because they knew I would get so irritated by that. Because I'm in the selling mood, right? I'm ready to sell you something. You're talking to everyone else. But I wanted them to see my excitement. Now, when I went to the wireless company, we made more money off of selling accessories. A Bluetooth is an accessory, right? Though I still didn't like it my first year or so, I had to sell it because it was making me money. I had to get excited about it. And once I began to use it myself, I absolutely loved the Bluetooth and couldn't do without it. But the excitement that I would give when I'm talking to my customers would make them want to spend that $99 for it. Because, of course, I'm not trying to sell you something for $39. I'm in sales and I'm in here to make money, right? And I also believe that the more expensive ones really did work a whole lot better. And I'm giving you all the benefits of it. And I'm tying it into what type of job you have or how you want to take care of your family. And, you may be riding along, but I'm listening. I'm building that rapport with them, because I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm tying that back into why they need this Bluetooth that I'm trying to sell them. So just have the excitement, because that's what people are buying things from. It's not because of that product. It's because of the excitement that you give when you are talking to them about that product. It's because the excitement that you give when they may have said something that was just in passing about their child or about that job. Now you're talking about it with the excitement and how whatever product you're having can help with that. And now they're saying, oh my God, you're right. My son is calling me all day long and I can't hardly drive or I can't cook because I'm always having a phone in my hand. But now all I have to do is click this one button and I can continue hands-free talking to my family and still making dinner and doing all these other things that I need to do, or taking care of that younger child while that older child is talking to me about something. But we're maintaining that relationship. But it's the excitement that I'm repeating exactly what they said, but I'm repeating it back with excitement. And they get excited about that product at the time, and that's when they purchase. That's when you make your money. So that's important. I always show excitement when you're selling. Let's see. Customer service and selling. And as I said before, I'm going to have to get my glasses on, but I don't think I look too cute with them on here on this video. But customer service, a lot of people, and I kind of said this at the beginning while I was trying to get my my videos going. Customer service, customer experience, and sales goes hand in hand. You will not make a lot of money if you do not have the right customer experience. That business will not make a lot of money. It will not last if you do not have good customer experience. If you are not creating a great customer experience for your customers, if you don't have good customer service, you can know all the little sale tricks there are to be known. But no one wants to come and patronize you if you don't have good customer service, if your employees don't have good customer service. That is important. I don't like, a lot of people say, well, why don't you, I've been so successful in sales. I've always worked on commission for the last 16, 17 years. Why is it that you don't talk about selling? Well, if you think about it, I do talk about selling. I talk about the basic things that you need to do. I'm not telling you the selling techniques. I told a few little techniques on here today. I may not be telling you those, but when I first started the wireless company, I had no idea about wireless phones. I had a razor. I thought I was doing something. I was bad. Then I had the cute little red razor, and my family had a silver razor, and we were bad then. But I didn't know anything about cell phones. And I told you I didn't like Bluetooth, so I didn't know anything about Bluetooth. And that was one of the most expensive accessories that I could be selling. So I needed to learn about those. So we had he's one of my friends now. He was our greeter, and I would listen to him verbatim when he's talking to the customers about it. Because if we're all busy, then he would sell them. And I was, I would be listening to him, and I listened to him so hard. One day we were both talking to a customer, and I was saying exactly what he was saying verbatim because I had learned his speech because he was so good at selling them. And I appreciate Renal so much today for that. And we both looked at one another and we smiled and laughed. And he did me a little nod like, you got it now. You can sell it yourself now. I don't have to do it. I don't have to show you anymore. Or you don't have to listen to me anymore, because I had listened and learned. So those things are important. That's why you got to have that good customer service, though. It's not what you need. I always said, I told the person when she interviewed me, I didn't know about the product, but I knew how to take care of my customers. I had time to learn the product while I was taking care of my customer. A customer doesn't care about you not knowing the product, because you can go and find the answer from someone. Ma'am, I don't know. Sir, I don't know, but give me one moment. I can go and find out for you. And I come back with that answer. But if I didn't know how to take care of customers first, it wouldn't matter if I went and found out about that product, because they wouldn't want to come back to me. But they did. They continued. I had my customers coming to me from my previous job, and I also was getting my new customers coming in. And guess what? I kept up with my prospecting with that, just like I did when I was working for the other company. I prospected. When we had downtime, I'm calling customers and telling them the devices that they had come in and looked at and maybe didn't have the money to buy it at that time, that we now have it in, or we're running a sale on it. We were selling landline services as well, like TVs and internet and phones. And UFirst was really big at that time. And if it wasn't in our areas. So what I would do is I would keep those name and addresses and phone numbers. And I would check periodically to see was it in the area now. So when they got in that area, I would call them and say, you know what? I know you came in here 6 months ago looking for UFirst and it wasn't in your area, but now it's in your area. Let's talk about it. Those things are important. Taking care of your customer goes hand in hand with selling. It goes hand in hand with with your customer service and your customer's experience. That's important. So we talked about the song. We talked about how does prospecting help you with customer service? How does it help you make sure that each customer receives a great customer experience? And how are you going to make money in your business? Prospecting and following up with your customers, not one time, but several times throughout the year, because that's when you're going to make customers. It's not ever about that one time that you it's not about that one time that you deal with that customer. They come in and they give you $20, $30, or if you sold jewelry, maybe $500 at one time, they never come back. $1,000, they never come back. It's about those repeat customers. It's about you taking care of a customer so well till they go out and they go back to work. You have them ready for their when they come to lunch, you have their product ready and it's wrapped up really nice, and they trust you enough for that. And when they go back to work, they're telling their coworkers about you. When they're talking about it, when they present that anniversary gift to their wives, you talking and telling her about it. So now when she come in, she wants to deal with you as well. When you call them and you find something for a retirement gift, and when they go into the retirement part and you present them with that gift, and they love it so much. Now you're talking about who you purchased that from, not the company you purchased it from, but the person who you purchased it from at that retirement party. Are those people going to be listening because they like the presentation of the retirement gift? They're going to be listening to that, and they're going to come to you. Got a lot of customers that way, a whole lot of them. Taking care of your customers, prospecting, and making sure that you create a good customer experience each time they come in. That's how you're going to win every time. That's how you're going to keep your hands in the air with that excitement for making that money. But that's how you're going to be able to stay there. So that song is great. I love it. It's so upbeat. I just love it. And it just gets me to going and my energy to going, just like my motivational videos. I remember when my kids played ball. I still have one now that plays ball, but when they play ball, and since they was 2 years old, anytime before we would go to any games, baseball games, basketball games, football games, anytime before we would go, we would jam that music in the car because I'm trying to get them excited. I'm trying to get them excited. And I want them excited. And that's how the excitement starts. That gets your blood to flowing. I may not have any idea what that song is talking about, but I get one that's really upbeat until they became old enough and they started turning the songs on that they like, but making sure they're upbeat so they can get that, that flow, because that's what I taught them early on as boys in playing sports. But I remember my youngest son went to a Christian high school, private high school, and good Lord, I mean, the coach was very motivational, but that's something that he didn't do. When they would get there, they would play music. They didn't want them to play different kind of music. So, they have the theme music that you can play too. You don't have to always play the words. And that's what my son was so used to. And that's what he began to do, is take his own music and have his headphones on, and he was listening to it. But he was so hyped up. He became the hype man, because now he's so hyped up and everybody else is not hyped. So he's hyping them up. That's how he became captains of the team and things like that. So, because he bringing some energy that they didn't have there before, even though they played great basketball and they were already a winning team, but it hyped them up to play even better. The same thing with this song here. I love this song, but I had to dissect it, and I used to always do that when I managed, when I led the companies that I worked for. I would love to play the music. We would get there in the morning time, and we were putting our devices out and making sure the store was set up properly before we opened. And it may not be the music that I like at the time, but I began to love it. But I had to think about who I worked with. I worked with younger people. I had to play their music, and I would jam it in the morning time. And, I would do my little dance and stuff. And, of course, they would laugh and talk about me. But not only was that getting a relationship started with us, because I'm this 40-something-year-old and they're this 20-something-year-old. And here I am trying to be on their level, but also think about, I'm older and I'm a leader, but I got to fit in. I had to think about that. I had to fit in with them. It was easy for me because I already had young boys and we were already playing music like that. But getting them, when I'm doing my little dance and stuff like that, they're laughing at me and they're talking about me, and it's okay with me because I'm establishing that relationship with them. And it was more important for me to look crazy because I'm sure I couldn't dance anymore, right? But it was okay for me to do that and let them laugh at me, to establish that relationship and gain that trust from them. And I believe that's exactly what I did. So we would do that every morning, but that's what it was doing for me. But what it was doing for them was motivating them and getting that, because we're tired early in the morning and we've gone through all this trying to get our kids ready for school and through all this traffic, especially in this Georgia traffic, and we're irritated and we may not have had breakfast. We skip all this stuff, but it was motivating them. I needed them, no matter how tired I was, I needed them to see me energized because I lead by example. I needed them to see me energized so I could energize them. I needed them, when the first customers come in and I'm talking to the customers with excitement, I'm showing them, I'm leading by example, I'm showing them exactly what to do, exactly what I want them to do, exactly how I want them to treat their customers. When I come to work and I'm dressed a certain way, yes, it's for me because that is the way I'm used to dressing. I'm used to being professional, neat, clean, and all this stuff. But I'm also leading by example, and I'm showing them what they need to do. So all of this stuff just play a part. Prospecting is one part of it, but there's so many entities of it, and we have to make sure that we're doing that. And that's what I wanted you to get out of this today. So let me just quickly recap some of the steps that we talked about today in prospecting, because I want to make sure I've answered the question. And if y'all have any questions for me, please put them in the comments. The importance of prospecting, how does it help give great customer service, which creates a great customer experience, and how does it help you make more money? So we talked about help keeps your business alive, how prospecting help keeps it alive. I mean, you just gain so much more money, and I gave a personal example of that. And I talked about my personal example from selling fine jewelry to going to Wallace and how prospecting helped me there continue to make more money. I talked about preparation and your prepaid scripts and things that you need to do, but also that's the automated part of it, but also make sure you show that human side once you do that first part of the script. Always collect your data from your customers. That is extremely important. Anytime you're talking to a customer, try to get their name, number, and email address. Keep up with that information. That's how you're going to follow up with them. That's how you're going to begin to prospect with them. But it's all about keeping that information and keeping it orderly so you'll know what to do. And then as they come in, as you gain those relationships, as you get that rapport with them, begin to ask them more questions about their business, about their family, about their extended family, about their work, and things like that, so that you can add that information in. Make sure you follow up and touch bases with your customers throughout the year, so it just won't seem like you just want to get that one sale during the holiday time for them, because customers can really tell that, and it's kind of eerie and they really don't like it. Everyone wants to feel valued. So that's what, as a consumer, that's what I want to feel. I want to feel like if it's $1 at the dollar store, that you want my dollar, because guess what? I worked hard for it. And I want to make sure someone needs that dollar. Their business needs that dollar and they want my business. So that's important. Don't let the fear of doing something make you leave money on the table. Let that fear fuel your business. That's important. A lot of us leave money on the table because we're so scared to do something, because we're so scared of failing. We're so scared of what people are going to say about us, what people are going to think about us. People are going to have their own thought, no matter if you're the one try to be perfect in everything you do. Somebody always going to have something to say about you, so don't worry about it. Just go ahead and let that fear fuel your business. That's important. Make sure you're calling people that you know, but you continually adding people to your prospecting list. So you can call the people that you know, but as well as the ones that you don't know too. Always show excitement. That is so important. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, excitement sells, not that product all the time. Excitement sells. Now, like Apple, people going to come and buy that iPhone, right? But then they may not buy it from you because you don't show the excitement about it. Because if they want an iPhone, they're iPhone freak, and they want you to be excited about it just like they are. But anything that you sell, excitement sells it. Excitement sells it. Remember that. Remember, when we're talking about customer service, the customer experience, we are talking about selling, because all of us are in business to make money. That's the only reason you go to work. That's the only reason you open your business up in the morning time. That's the only reason you started your business as an entrepreneur, is to make money. The only way you can make money is by prospecting, following up, giving your customers good customer service, and creating a great customer experience every single time. If you want to win, and if you want to stay there, that's how you're going to do it. So make sure you're doing those things. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I truly appreciate you as always. I never take it lightly when you take time out of your day. Hopefully, I've said something to you. Hey, Rochelle. Hopefully, I've said something to you that's resonated with you, that's going to help you in your business. If you know someone else may need this information, make sure. Hey, Kelvin, you used your grandmother's Facebook today. But if you know someone else who needs this information, or they have a business and it's just a refresher for them, send them the information. Let them go and look at it. Share the video with them. If you have a group that you're in, a Facebook group or a Twitter group, or on Instagram, all these things are changing. So if they have those, and you know that some of your people may like this or need this information or this refresher for their business, especially going into the holiday time, share it with them. I don't mind at all. But I thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your time with me. You're welcome, Nadia. Again, my name is Kayl May. I am the customer service and leadership coach. I am a motivational speaker. I'm a mentor. I'm a radio talk show host, and I'm also an author. Thank you so much, Al, for joining me. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.